Joining us now with the story of one intrepid entrepreneur is our own Ndimyake Mwakalyelye. Ndimi.
Well, thank you, Vincent. Tired of seeing dolls that just don't reflect his culture, a Nigerian entrepreneur decided to solve the problem by producing his own line of dolls that would appeal to Nigerian girls. Nigeria boasts its very own line of dolls called Queens of Africa, thanks to entrepreneur Taofick Okoya. He wanted to create a doll that captured the country's rich cultural heritage and diversity. Every month, his Fico Solutions company in the Surulere suburb of Lagos assembles thousands of dolls that are distributed to shopping malls and stores within Lagos and in other states. Okoya says he was inspired to set up the company after several attempts to buy a doll for his niece.
That was when it hit me that we actually didn't have black dolls in our stores. So I started paying attention, looking out for, the dolls, black dolls, and I realized that we didn't have any. So I thought, okay, you know what, rather than complain and wish, why don't you actually create one?
Okoya started Fico Solutions in 2007 and currently employs about 15 people. The entrepreneur invested $100,000 into the business. He says running a business in Nigeria is a challenge for many entrepreneurs like him. To offset the high cost of production of the dolls in Nigeria, some of the doll parts are made in China with final assembly back in Lagos.
The production in Nigeria is high, besides power. It will be a challenge to continually keep our prices down. I'm so tempted to want to produce away completely and just, because it'll work out cheaper for me.
In shopping malls across Lagos, Queens of Africa dolls are popular among little girls for the very reason Okoya hoped.
I like it because it's a good doll and it's black like me. The yellow dolls are beautiful. And some of them are having clowns. They are good for children to play with.
The Queens of Africa dolls are also gaining popularity beyond Nigeria, as Okoya has begun receiving orders to export them to schools and individuals in the United States and some European countries. And joining us live now via Skype from Lagos is Taofick Okoya, who is the CEO of Fico Solutions Limited, the creators of the dolls. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Okoya.
It's my pleasure.
And congratulations on your line. So tell us a little bit about the dolls and what makes them unique.
We have two ranges of dolls. We have the Queens of Africa and we have the Niger princesses. The Queens of Africa are more the main line, and we have the Niger princesses because they are much cheaper, and we are able to get those to the mass market. Our dolls are mainly to promote, the positive impartation in our children. Spanning from, importance of education, cultural issues, moral issues, just generally trying to make them proud and accept who they are as in their culture.
And apparently your feeling, even before you created these dolls, is right on now, at least in terms of the receptivity to these dolls. They're selling pretty highly every month, right?
Now they are. Initially, it was quite a challenge, which was why we had to remodify the dolls initially before launch. We launched 2006. That's later part of 2006. There was a slight resistance when we were doing our research because the children didn't want the black dolls. They wanted dolls with hair they could play with and so on. So we did a slight change to what they used to, and it was not until then and a lot of education, enlightening the parents and the store owners about the main idea behind the dolls that we started gaining acceptance.
Now tell me,
we're getting acceptance, but not to the level at which we want, but at least we're getting there gradually.
Tell me about the partnership you have with China. China makes the dolls, and then you assemble them in Lagos.
Yes, I designed the dolls in partnership with one of our suppliers in the Far East, in China specifically, and when we did the design, I had the option of bringing the molds back and the machinery to produce them here locally. But we had an issue of price point, because another thing about the white dolls we have locally is that they're very expensive. So we thought, look, if I had to do that, I won't be able to match the cost. It will be rather expensive because of cost of production. So what we did is to run the molds with another manufacturer in China, get the parts in so we can assemble and dress them to suit our immediate culture. Mm-hmm. As time goes on, if we're able to work out, large enough quantities, our final goal would be to actually produce fully locally.
Mm-hmm. Now tell me, to the point you mentioned a little bit earlier about how the little girls were resistant to the first model of dolls that you portrayed. Is it because they prefer Barbie? And how is Barbie now faring to Queens of Africa?
The resistance, I think, stemmed from the fact that even their mothers had, white dolls, and it was the norm. In the stores, the attendants were like, bring us white dolls, they sell more. People don't really ask or buy black dolls. Mm-hmm. So I believe that it was really the fact that they didn't have any, and they didn't understand the psychological impact it might have. Hence the initial resistance. But as at now, there's a better appreciation based on the education that we've been telling about the importance of having dolls in your likeness, what the dolls are all about. We created the characters, so we're working on having to, change some of the features gradually, mm-hmm. once that we've gotten great enough acceptance. Okay, now, Mr. Okoya, I would love to see a doll one time soon with nappy hair and big cheeks who looks very, very, very African, because they still seem to mimic the Western profile of what is beautiful. When we started, nobody knew about the Queens of Africa, and we were not an authority at that point in time. Right. But with the growth as at now, okay. We're becoming Mr. Okoya, an authority. I'm sorry, I have to cut you off there, but please do keep up the good work. Thank you so much and congratulations. Taofick Okoya, CEO of Fico Solutions Limited, which makes dolls, and he spoke with us via Skype from Lagos, Nigeria.